let's talk a little putting and how our setup can affect our ability to make some of these tough little left to right putts.
Sneaky downhill left to righters. Okay, Milo, so the inspiration for this video is actually from me watching a lesson that you had with a young junior out here in Arizona, rising junior, great player. And we talked about his struggles with putting, the other junior tournament he had recently. And he especially was struggling with pushing his putts. Okay, something a lot of people at home struggle with, pushing putts, right?
For sure. And what it came down to a little bit is some setup issues. Kind of where his eyes were relative to the ball, how his putter was lying on the ground, and how his body was set up. He was kind of setting up with almost an arched back like this, and we got him to kind of round off his shoulders, let his head round off a little bit, and that allowed him to be able to really swing that putter on a better arc.
So believe it or not, we tell you can swing like an athlete. We actually feel like you can putt like an athlete too. So, you know, stuff we talked about with him was number one, wasn't necessarily getting his eyes right over the ball. For him, it was almost just inside the ball.
Yeah. Getting the eyes in a position where you see the line correctly.
But for him, it was getting what felt like his head was laying on a table more, so a little more roundedness. Yeah, because his eyes weren't up here.
Yeah, he was looking more this way and then looking at the ball through the bottom of his eyes.
Yeah, peripheral.
Instead of getting his face pointed at the ball, so his eyes are kind of going straight out.
And we do that just like in the golf swing. We have some roundedness in our neck and our cervical spine here, and we get down to the ball just like that.
Yeah, and then you can see as you did that, your shoulders kind of relaxed and came forward.
Right.
Now you've got some roundedness in the thoracic spine as well, so it helps you be able to face down to the ball.
Right. Now here's the little extra nugget we gave him. It was on these left to righters. Keep in mind that the green is sloped like this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of you guys at home are trying to lay the putter down
flat on the ground.
Flat on the ground. But what does that do to the lie angle of this putter?
It shoots it off to the right a little bit.
Right, and the putter has a little bit of loft too.
Yeah, so now the face is pointed just a hair to the right.
Right. So one thing we gave him was to feel like the pressure in his feet was a little more in his heels.
Yes.
Just a little bit. Just fighting the slope a hair, right? And then almost allowing the toe of the putter just to be up a little bit.
So the putter is really still level to the ground,
right?
Or level to the horizon, but the ground is sloped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now many of you probably aren't going to end up on a 3% or more slope on a left to righter, but
it happens.
Having the toe up just slightly in this instance because of our pressure, and then having that rounded head, we can get these putts started a little bit more on line. It's not going to break right, Milo.
Well, you didn't play it. You need to come over here.
All right, let's go over here.
There we go. Now we got a left to righter.
That was a good putt. There we go.
Yeah.
So I started that probably just outside left edge.
You were putting straight down the hill.
But, you know, many of you at home are coming up to these putts. Pressure is just neutral, even out on your toes. You lay the putter down flat, and your head's up here, and you get this wipey push out to the right, and you're like, oh no. And we see that all day. You know, that's a big miss for people on these putts. These downhill left to righters, it's blocking it out to the right.
For sure. It's hard to get the left to righter started high enough for most people.
Right.
And a lot of it's because their setup doesn't match up.
Right. So pressure a little bit in your heels, rounded neck and head down. You could even also put just a hair of pressure down the slope just a little bit to get it started. You know, like you're putting it down the slope, right, versus staying back. And
yeah, it helps you swing along the slope, and if we're on a downhill like we are here, you want to be able to swing the putter basically as if you were on level ground.
Right. Cool. Well, hopefully this tip helps you guys with these nasty little left to righters downhill. Make that putt under pressure, win your Nassau, whatever it might be, right?
For sure.